Welcome back to Painting the Party. This is the third character that we're going to be going over in our Quest for the Frozen Flame campaign, next season of The Hook on the 2Perception show. Third character we're going to be working on today is this one right here. Her name is Hanwi. You might notice a few different things about her, one being that she is significantly smaller than the other character. She is pretty short, pretty tiny. Comes up basically to Verja's shoulder. Even Amka is almost about a head taller than her. And then you compare her in size to a mountain like Ozash or Aram over here, this giant lanky ranger, and she gets dwarfed significantly. Much as you might think she might be of halfling stature. She isn't. She's just that small. She's like 5 foot nothing. But she's also doesn't appear to be very armed, but that's okay. She's got a lot of magic to back her up, and she should be able to support the crew pretty well. So for her, she's got kind of an interesting, she's kind of the oddball of the group, aside from the fact that she's super tiny. And apparently doesn't wear armor or carry any weapons. Her backstory is actually that she's a moon spirit trapped on the world in mortal flesh. So we're going to kind of try to bring out a lot of her ethereal nature with her. So we're going to go with sort of silver hair. She's going to have very few possessions because she doesn't really need them. Her magic makes up for a lot of it. And one thing that I'm really looking forward to on painting this mini is that she's going to have silver tattoos all over her to kind of represent the inner magic of her that's kept safe, locked away, and trying to grow back to the point where she can perhaps fly back up into the sky again. So it's going to be a pretty straightforward model, I imagine. There's not a lot of gear, there's not a lot of details here. But one thing I'm kind of looking forward to here is that it sort of, just because you have a model without a lot of detail doesn't mean that you can't bring a lot of interesting detail to it just with your painting. And I'm going to try to make that happen with Hanwi here. We've got, she's wearing this simple dress. We're going to see if we can't bring out some details on that. But in particular, we're going to see about if we can't make her, make this these tattoos pop up to give her this sort of ethereal, exotic look. And we'll see how it comes out. But first things first, because I'm probably going to be using some contrast on her, I'm going to start, of course, with our trademark Uthan Gray. We'll go ahead and put that on, give this sort of this nice undercoat here. And she's pretty small. I think the painting handle is going to cause more harm than good, so I'm going to leave it off. And we'll just go straight from, well, I'll just be holding it in my fingers. All right. Start over here. So, similarly to Verja, who's, as we discussed in the last video, Verja, sorry, who his family have been in the cold tundra for so long that he no longer really worries about the cold. Hanwi is a spirit of the frozen sky, and so same deal, basically. The cold of winter of the mortal lands does not really bother her, so she tends to be pretty lightly dressed and equipped. A simple dress is enough for her, and she doesn't carry much either. Technically, class-wise, she's a druid to kind of represent her connection to the natural world here. So her primal magic is more than enough to let her get by in the wilds without needing any kind of, well, much in the way, I should say, of tools or weaponry. In fact, her shape-shifting abilities are going to be kind of on display here. Come on, focus in. There we go. I'm going to try something different with the focus today, actually. Let's see if this works. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lock the focus right here. And if I put something down, it might look a little blurry, so apologies for that. But I think this will be a better experience at actually watching the paint get on the model. So we'll see if this winds up working a bit better. But back to the character and kind of how that informs the design. Despite the fact that she's a moon spirit trapped in the world, mortal world and all of that, she would have developed quite an affinity for the following that took her in. Well, this one. She had an experience with the last one that when she first got stuck, that wasn't so great. But the current following of the Broken Tusk, she feels much more welcomed and is very glad to help them out. And she's, despite that, originally what she wanted to do was go back up into the sky once her power recovered. She's found herself rather liking the following of the Broken Tusk and helping them out. So to kind of represent that on the model, what we're going to do is she's got this band, this waistband as part of her dress here. We're going to kind of use the same blue that we see on Arja's tunic here on the shoulder, and a similar blue to Amka's, I guess, sort of outer tunic here, to kind of try to create a unifying theme, kind of showing that, you know, even though these are pretty diverse, interesting, unique characters with a variety of different skills and abilities, they're all part of the same family. They're all in the same following. They're facing the same challenges, the same winters, the same attempt for food and shelter and clothing. And so I think I'm going to like this sort of unifying feature throughout all of them. All right, she's basically got enough there to take care of that. I'll go ahead and let this dry and check back in with you. Okay, and we're back. So this paint has dried pretty nicely. I missed the rim of the base here, probably because I was holding it with my hands, but I went and painted that while the video was paused. Figured you guys probably didn't need to see that, so probably wouldn't be an issue. All right, and so let's get to painting. So normally I'm an advocate of painting low areas first and then high areas. Unfortunately, Hanwi's pose is going to make this a little challenging because I have a lot of low areas in the back. So the back of the skirt is a low area because her legs are in front of it. And then her legs are a low area because the front of the skirt is in front of it. And then up here I have her chest, which is a low area. And then I have her dress, and then I have her hands in front of it. So I'm going to have to probably paint the flesh in layers, I would think. So face, chest, and then dress, inside dress, legs, outside dress, top of dress, waistband, hands. So it's going to be a little bit back and forthy here, but that's okay. We can go ahead and work with this. So Hanwi is going to have very dark colored skin, sort of a I guess sort of like a Lakota kind of vibe here, which is going to work great because it'll contrast beautifully with the silver tattoos. But her dress is going to have to contrast also. So we're going to do a sort of a khaki for the dress. You all know my favorite thing for khaki by now probably is going to be the skeleton horde here. Then for the skin, I'm going to try something a little different here. I've got these, which are going to be, this is just a brown, bootstrap leather it's called, but it's just a pretty solid brown, and I'm going to highlight it with this sort of this bronze flesh color. This is called Cardic Flesh, but it basically gives you a nice bronze color. It's also probably, as you can see, it's separated out pretty badly. I'm going to have to go shake the heck out of this to go make it work, but that's fine. I'll put a wash on that if I think I need to, but I think it'll be okay. If not, I'll wash it up, not a big deal. And her hair we're going to probably hit last, since it's on top of literally everything. I want to try it for like a silver type effect on the hair. We'll see how well it goes. So I think we got a pretty good plan. We'll go ahead and get to work here. So start with this, and go ahead. Going for the inside of the dress here. Kind of having to get around. Uh-oh. That's white. That means I thought it was dry down there, but it is not, in fact, actually dry. So I'm going to give this another couple minutes. And I won't make you guys sit through it. I'll be right back. All right. I think we're safe now. We'll go ahead and see if this goes and behaves itself now. I'll just load it up there. And just try and let the stuff work its magic. It's a little much. Glorp. And the nice thing about me not using a contrast paint for the skin is that I can be pretty liberal with slathering the stuff on here. And it's okay because I'm just going to paint over the legs anyway. Pretty good, pretty good. I'm gonna leave that for later. I can't get the back though. I get the back of the dress while I'm here. So she's got these different layers kind of built into the dress. Let's see what I can do with it. I might go with, it's almost like a petticoat kind of thing, not as rustic. Definitely I would, this is kind of almost, it's a little bit more civilized of a dress than I think the following would have, but let's see what we can do to kind of rustic it up a bit with paint. I just got that little belt pouch there. Yeah, maybe a darker brown border on it to kind of separate it out, perhaps. Something like that. We'll see how it goes. So I'll go ahead and let that work, let that dry out. So put this away. Clean the brush. Let's go ahead and move up to her face. Get our bootstrap brown here. There we go. And let's see what we can do. It's actually a lighter brown, you can tell, than the this stuff, which is what I was kind of using for a leather base. But this stuff is, I don't know, it's too woodsy, I think. I kind of like this stuff a bit better. So, but we'll see. Because the nice thing about it, as I say quite frequently, is if you don't like how a paint job comes out, you can just paint over it. All right, here. Just trying to see where that hairline is. And just get under the chin here. chest. All right. And I think I got all that. I'm gonna wait to do the hands and the arms until after I can get the dress area. So that'll be fine. Uh-oh, looks like my fingers got on there right there. I'm gonna patch that up. Break out the skeleton horde. Now, unfortunately, unlike a model that has more, well, A, that's just flat out bigger and has kind of more things going on with it, Verha being a great example, but also Amka as well. Hanwi, it just doesn't have a lot of, I guess I can get the back of her dress here. And honestly, this is acrylic. It'll be dry by the time I get over there, so we can go ahead and do the back of her dress. I'm going to want to get blue for this band here. So I'm going to try to leave that white. And yep, short sleeve dress in the tundra. Hanwi doesn't care. Get the bodice, shoulders, side of the torso. Hanu's got this kind of demure hands clasped in front of her pose, which is fine and nice and characteristic, but god dang does it make it difficult to paint. And let's see here, you can kind of, one of these things where I'm wondering, am I just going to make this worse if I try it? I got it. Leave that white bit for the, I have to touch it up a little bit there at the front, but that's fine. All right, that's not too bad, actually. Not too bad at all. All right. I guess whatever, I might as well just get this front bit while it's here. Should be getting the legs first, but whatever. It'll be fine. I'll paint around it. And I've got a little bit right there. These frills on the dress can actually make it rather difficult to get in there. Okay, looks pretty good. Close this up, push this off. Moving on to legs. Go. Oops. Yeah, I'm just gonna take that top off. These paint pots are really good at sealing, so that the paint, like, I've never had to reconstitute a P3 brand paint, but the tops break all the time. They break so often. Like the thumb tabs rip off, the hinge breaks. So I mean, I guess you can't have everything. All right. There we go. Just trying. And yep, she does not really bother with shoes too much, unless she's going off into the woods somewhere with the following, in which case, yeah, if she's scouting out somewhere, then yeah, she'll wear shoes. But for the most part, cold doesn't bother her, so she doesn't really see a reason to bother with it in casual situations. Which is someone who grew up in Florida, spent a lot of time outside barefoot. So if the cold doesn't bother her, I imagine she'd probably feel the same way. So fair enough. A little bit of a wet patch of khaki contrast there. Don't want to contaminate my paint, so just be a little cautious here. Oh boy, that's a dry flake. Get off of there, you. There we go. Little paint gremlins, man. You got to watch out for them. Alright, so let's see if we can catch her. There we go, looks good. And the back of her calf there has got some white on it. Let's see if we can't slot a brush in there and fix that. Just a little bit. Can you see that? You kind of can. Ah, there we go. There's the angle right there. I just have to find the right fold of the dress. Slot that brush in. Okay. I think we're just down to her heel at this point. Inside ankle there. She's got something on her inner calf there. Let me see if I can get it from the front. It's not a great angle. Maybe if I just... Did that work? Yeah, it kind of worked actually. Let me see if I can... I don't want to mar the dress, so probably be happy with that. Put a little coat up here, so we don't have brush strokes or something. All right, cool. Looks pretty good. Dresses. I should probably get that blue band before I move on to doing her arms, so we can go ahead and do that. As it is, I need to touch up there with a little bit of Uthin. So let's clean that off. You back on. And here we go. Uthin gray. Little dab. Not even that much is necessary. Zoop, zoop, zoop. Perfect. All right. As for that pouch, I could probably just do a brown on it and it'll be fine. Maybe got a lot of dark browns, light browns. You know, I could try to do like a different kind of material. She's got so much brown on her. Maybe we make that like a dyed color. Like maybe, like there's some decent reds around. We've got Amka's cape here. We've got Ozash's waistband. Not Ozash, I'm sorry. Ozash is over here. This is Varja's waistband. I think that we could probably do a red, like a nice deep red, to have it be kind of nice. Yeah, Yeah, that could work. So let's do that. We can do a red, and then we can hit it with Devlin Mud like we did with the other, and it'll look subdued, but it'll be enough color to kind of break things up a bit. Yeah, that's a good plan. And while I was considering that plan, that white should have dropped, so we'll go ahead and whip this out. This is the same stuff we used for Amka's tunic there, or outer coat. I highlighted Amka's. I don't know if I'm going to need to highlight this because it's pretty small and pretty... got hair on the brush. It's pretty small and pretty... Yeah, I got it there. I'm not sure that a highlight is going to be effective, but let's see. Let's see how it comes out. So... Yep. I'm already glad that I did this before I did this. The arms. There we go. Just gonna get this waistband done. Right like that. Yeah. Okay. Pretty good, pretty good. I could also do a snake bite leather. That's got enough, that should have enough difference that it pops out. We'll see. I'm still thinking about it. I don't know. Amka had a snake bite leather satchel. What does that look like? Is that going to stick out? That would kind of stick out. Kind of, sort of. Maybe I'll leave that for last and see what I think about it. It's high enough up, it should be fine if I leave it for last. Okay, so hands. I'd like to let this dry, or waistband dry. You know, actually I could do the first layer of hair. Sorry, so hair. This is going to be a big experiment, right? So I've got silver paint, right? Here we go. Here's silver paint. And put that silver paint on that hair, and her hair will be silver. It'll look like I forged it. But that's not what I want to go. I kind of want the silver to be more subtle. I want it to be kind of, I want it to kind of be more of a suggestion and an accent, and not so much like, you know, just blop silver hair. So what I'm going to do is drop the model, and then I think what I'm going to do is, so this hair should be kind of sort of like a grayish white to start with, and I'll try to highlight with this and see if that makes it look good. So I just so happen to have this stuff. This is Apothecary White, which is basically a contrast that's very thin with a gray tone that's going to fall into the recesses. So if I put this on her hair, that should really kind of bring out the definition, put gray in the recesses, leave white up top to give me just enough to be able to kind of pick out the actual highlights with the silver. And I think that will look pretty good. Because she's not a robot, but she does have that hint of, the goal isn't to have her look metallic. The goal is to, well, first clean my brush of the blue paint that was on it. Talking away and I forgot to, yeah, it looks good. It's almost bad. Don't want to contaminate your pots. All right, so we're just gonna paint this over, and you can see the effect. It works, but it's very subtle. It actually is really good if you want to add shading, a neutral type of definition to an area that's white. And this works on anything from fur to hair to plate. I've used it on skin before, for particularly in human figures. Want to do like sort of a ghostly, otherworldly pallor to them. It works. So I think it'll be the good base for her hair here. So already seeing that detail kind of pop out, which is just perfect. put on the inside, see if I can get that. Yeah, there we go. Pretty good. All right, nice. Nice. All right. Probably, and already it's looking pretty silvery. I don't think I'm gonna have to do too much. I think I'll be able to keep this accent with this silver very subtle, and I think it'll work. That blue is probably dry, so we can go ahead and paint her arms finally. Wash off my brush, not forget about that this time. I have a thumb tab on this still, at least, so you know that's... Okay. It's fine, it's fine. There we go. Get paint all over my fingers, that's good. Alright, the misadventures of Nick's painting station. You don't see this on the professional painters stuff. They've got their stuff way too well together, way too put together. Either that or they just edit it out. Alright, gotta get these clasped hands. There we go. Get the elbow back up into the dress. Come down here. There's a bit of a white spot in there. What is that too? It's kind of a little conflux of all parts here. Let me just see if I can just get it with skin. That's the darkest color I got in there. So yeah, that cleans that up. All right, cool. And come get the underside of her hand. Nice thing about Eldritch Foundry is they give you the ability to kind of change your hand position in a lot of different ways. So you can actually kind of create some pretty cool, if your hands aren't busy holding on to gear, you can kind of create some really cool poses with them. There we go. There we go. Okay, she's looking pretty good for a base coat. Still need to pick up the highlights. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. Okay, nice. Happy with that. So, as for that belt pouch, I'm actually going to get some stuff right here. Her elbow need fix. There we go. Bicep. All right. I'm going to leave that till the very end because I want to see what the tattoos come out as and see how they look before I decide if I want more pop on the model. So, I think I'm pretty good there. Clean everything. Put that away. All right. So let's see. Dress is pretty good. I don't want to make this too fancy, actually. I'm thinking that painting it plainly might be my best friend here. Because if I overdo it, if I highlight these edges with a different color, even if I do like earthy tones, like a brown, a deeper brown on this, I just kind of just make these different layers look that much more obvious. So I think keeping it pretty simple is going to work pretty well. So that's probably good, honestly, with the dress. I'm probably not going to go too much more with that. The skin's going to need highlights. So let's go make that our next step that we're planning on. And so for that, we're going to use this stuff. And my God, we have a bunch of mixing to do. So I best get to it. I have not opened this. Maybe I'm just going to go open this and see what happens. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, so remember when I said I never had to really reconstitute one of these things? I'll put pay to that real quick. Okay. That's less than ideal. Okay. I could try to reconstitute this. It would probably take me 10 minutes, and it would probably come out really poorly. But I've got this, which is not exactly the same color. It's a little darker, but it's much lighter than the brown. It's also a flesh tone, so it's going to have enough warmth to it that it'll sell it. I haven't opened this in a while, but I doubt it's a solid. And as I shake it, I can hear liquid moving. So this is promising. Man, even that separation of, okay, cool. Let's see what this comes. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's liquid paint. All right, well, I mean what I said. I've never had a P3 paint dry out on me. This is literally the first one I've had, and, you know, maybe it just came that way. I don't know. But we've got this now. All right, so I don't have any ink wash on Hanwi. And the reason I don't is because her base color is so dark, I don't think that there's going to be anything that a wash is going to necessarily be able to do for me. Doesn't mean it won't. I could get a dark enough wash, I think, where it would be useful. You know, honestly, maybe this stuff might do it. It would certainly, I don't know, we'll see. Let me see how I can do it just with layering here and see if it does it well enough. So we'll start with nose, forehead, cheeks, chin, lips, kind of the side up of her chest here, down to the bosom. I'm gonna pick out collarbone, I guess. Arms, we're gonna have tops of hands, forearm, bicep, wrist. Leave the undersides, it should stay in shadow. Overhand, thumb, finger, 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 wrist, top of the forearm, outside, bicep a little bit. I'm actually wondering if this is going to be too subtle a difference. This might actually just be too subtle a difference. Well, I can take up another layer if I have to. Bugman's might. Maybe it's a good thing that the other stuff didn't work out so well, because this is, it's barely noticeable. All right, so got knee, we've got shin, we've got bridge of the foot, toes, bridge of the foot, shin, knee, back of the calf, back of the side of the calf. That looks pretty good. Maybe I will try a flesh wash. I'll see if that makes these details pop out a bit. I'll try to be sparing on where I put it, though. this. Doesn't take much. All right, so a little bit of this. And let's see here. I'm gonna go even less of that, please. All right, we're gonna go eye socket, side of the nose, lips, eye socket, side of the nose. Gonna go under the chin, center of the chest. We're going to go collarbone, collarbone. We're going to go fingers. We're going to go grip, top there. We're going to go crook of the elbow. And I'm doing this very particularly because I've already put the highlights on and I don't want to dim the highlights any more than they already are. So because I already put the highlights on, I'm having to be a bit more particular about where I put this ink wash. Wrist joint, wrist joint. Right there, the course of the dress. All right, legs, toes, ankle, toes, ankle. A little bit more. Back of the knee, under the dress, covered side of the calf, and let's see the back, a little bit there. All right, that's looking a little better. I might want to just take this up even more, maybe. Let me see if I hold it out at an angle. I don't know. I'm going to have tattoos on here too, so maybe I can use them to kind of add more definition. We'll see how that works. So I'll let that dry. All right, so let's go ahead and try the silver experiment. Oh, that is not mixed up enough. The trick when you're doing a vigorous shake of a paint pot is you don't want to throw it across the room by mistake. Very embarrassing. And, possibly dangerous for your personal possessions. Let's see how that, much better. Boom. All right. So what we're going to do is we've already got her hair grayish. So we're going to grab some of this silver. Let's get a very little bit here and see if we can just kind of highlight just the areas that are kind of up toward the top with this subtle shine. It's kind of where the hair lays on her shoulder or her chest. It's going to catch the light there and kind of shine up. Crown of her head. She should almost have like a halo of moonlight. A little bit here where the hair is going to hit her back and bounce up a bit. And a bit here where it's going to go up back over her shoulder. And this should give us a pretty subtle effect. And I like it. I think that looks pretty good. It's just a little shiny. It's not straight up metal. It's just kind of shiny. That's what I'm going for. I'm pretty happy with that, actually. Pretty happy with that. All right, so I don't know why I put that silver away. She's got a whole bunch of tattoos. All right, so here we go. Let's see if I can pull this off without making a mess of things. So let's just get a bunch of this down here. Okay. So first things first. Ooh, is that skin dry? Is that flesh wash dry on there? I don't know if that's dry or not. Well, let's find out. So let's see if we can get a... Ooh, not quite. And I'm going to have to have a really good tip here. Pull this off. Not too bad. Okay, little crescent moon. Do a line up the cheek. Just sort of catch that. Similar line here. That's okay. I'd like that to be more, to pop out more. Idea. This might be dangerous, but if I get the tattoos in black, that's going to provide a strong undercoat for them. And then I can overcoat them with the silver, and I think that will work better. So let's see how this works, if this is any better. So step one, crescent moon on the forehead. Let's get a little bit of water in here. Step two, align up the cheek. And on the other side. Okay, step three, she's going to have a large sphere in the center of her chest, which is going to be the source of her power. And we're going to have radiating out from there. We're going to have a line moving down her arm. And up it. Sort of this swirl pattern. We are going to have same deal on this side, sort of a whirling pattern, kind of moving down her arms and then coming up the back. Oh dear. This doesn't cover too well, which means I don't have that much control over this. I like this black, but it's not really doing too great for this job. Let's see what else I got. I've got this black. I haven't used this in a little while because the pure black has been perfectly fine for what I need, but let's see what it... Well, looks like it's still got plenty in it. Let's try it. And oh my god, how did that happen? Oh my, oh my, oh my. Come on, stand back up straight. How did that even happen? I don't know, but I am moderately terrified and also incredibly grateful that Eldritch Foundry apparently has flexible resin because they are wizards. I don't know how that model didn't break off at the ankles. I literally have no idea how that model didn't break off at the ankles. Witchcraft. Absolute witchcraft. I am quite... Oh. That black is actually quite dried out. An awkward moment when... All right. The only black I got, so let's see if we can't fix it. I got that other black, but it's... Oh my god, this is so bad. I think this is a fool's errand. This is an absolute fool's errand. I think it's not even any paint on the end of this. Okay. Okay. All right. I was a fool to think that this was going to be a good idea. All right. That's okay. I'll use the black I've got. I don't have any other black around here, do I? I don't. Oh, what's this? Black ink. Oh man, this is dangerous stuff. It's also entirely dry. Cool. Don't go worry about it. All right. Let's see if this works any better. So that looks significantly more viscous. Let's see if this works a bit better. Oh yeah. Perfect. Okay, forehead. Nice. Cheek. Beautiful. Other cheek. Yep. Center of her chest. All right, I just have to shake this black up more. I knew there was a reason. Perfect. This arm, swirl down, up. Perfect. This arm, swirl, and get the angle right. Oh, look at that. I was the one doing that. I was pushing her forward. because I was trying to brace the model while I painted. That was all me. Interestingly enough, there's no one else in the room, so everything is my fault anyway. Much better. Much, much, much better. All right. And we can do, let's see here. We've got more room on the legs. Let's see if we can't do something a bit more interesting than just a swirl. And kind of try to do a bit of a glyph here. And then have that connect over here. Again, these sort of flooring kind of glyph structures coming off of it. And along the outside here, kind of coming up the ankle before vanishing back up top. A little heavy-handed, but that's all right. Same deal here. We can do kind of more of a blocky kind of pattern. Kind of pull from the opposite ankle, side of the ankle. Have it come around like so. We can put a little flourish right here where you can see it. And we can just kind of continue it up into the skirt. All right, looking pretty good. Let's see if we can, let's see if we can translate this to silver now that we have some good backing. And I realize I'm no longer leaning on the model to get to paint correctly. All right, so, oh boy, big old water drop in there. Let's get that off the end of my brush. Try this again. I'm just going to put it up here, it's just easier. Boy, that's not really very thick, is it? It's very watery. Let's see if I can't. Looks a little better. Yeah, there we go. That's a good consistency. All right. That's, we got any more? Just make sure I get the right amount of paint on this brush, because I don't want to have too much where I make a mess. All right, so let's see if this works. Forehead, paint over. Cheek. Other cheek. Center of chest. Arm. It's kind of funny, I didn't think there'd be this much detail here, but coming along pretty good. Careful, don't push the model over, Nick. Hanwi does not have nearly as solid enough a stance as the other characters do. There we go. And leg-wise, we've got these. I'll just be tracing what we did earlier. There we go. Kind of come down, get those detailed hash marks. Might have to go over this again because it's not covering perfectly, but it's working way better than it was. That's man, I just don't like it. I really don't like how that came out. Yeah, it looks like she looks like a Terminator with battle damage. It's very unflattering. I don't like that at all. Yeah. Nope. Nope. I need to figure out something else. I cannot have that. But like I said, nice thing about painting, it's a little adventure that we go through. And if something you try doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world. Really missed the thumb part on this. It's not the end of the world, because you can just paint right on over it. I know Bob Ross would say happy little accidents, but it's not really a happy little accident kind of situation, because I can't just all of a sudden make her a robot. So we're just gonna cover this up. What do you mean? What tattoo experiment? I don't know what tattoo experiment you're talking about. I certainly didn't do a tattoo experiment. No. Can you imagine if it was just this easy in real life? The chest actually looks... I don't even know if I like that, to be honest. Let's just start over fresh. I got some tattoos that I don't like. That's fine, just paint over them. Some video game stuff right there. All right. So, my folly has been erased. I need to think about what I want to do to try to get those tattoos looking good, because she's got to have them. They're important. They're part of her character. But I need to think of a better way to get them on there. All right. I'm going to put this down real quick. I'm going to pause the video, and I'm going to, let me see what I got. I got some ideas. Let me see what I can come up with. All right, pausing now. Okay, research has been done, and I think I have a plan. So instead of trying to do metallic in these thin lines, I'm thinking that that's a fool's errand. It's not going to work out. It certainly didn't work out when I tried it. Pardon me. It certainly didn't work out when I tried it. So I'm thinking that we stay away from something that looks metallic. Because if you think about it, the moon, it's called the silver moon, but the moon isn't actually silver. The moon is white. And the moon is white because the sun has white light, and that is what is reflected to Earth. So, moon tattoos should be white and not silver. So I'm going to try again, and I'm going to be using white instead of silver. So I'm going to see if this works out. I hope to get the same level of detail. I don't have to do it on once. And if I wanted to go and try to give it a bit more of a glowy, ethereal look, I've got this stuff. Now, it's contrast paint, so it's not going to look super blue. It's actually pretty subtle. It just kind of gives you sort of this greenish glow, and that green becomes really stark in crevices. But if I just keep it to the tops and to the highlights, it should just give sort of this ethereal bloom to things. So it's an option. If I like the way the white looks, I might just leave it at that. Maybe I can try and... Yeah, I think we'll wind up trying to use this and see if I can make it work. But I'm feeling pretty... I think the white is going to be the way to go. So let's give it a shot. So, go ahead and put you down here. And let's put a little strip there in case I've got some that was either too watery or too dry. And I'll try not to go and push Hanwi over. Oh dear, I missed a spot on her ankle there. Anywhere else I missed it? No, just there. Okay. Fixable. Eminently fixable. Just gotta... There you go. A little bit of that, and just sneak right up in there. Boop, 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 boop. There, tattoo gone. If only were that easy. So many people would have such an easier time getting jobs. All right. Back to white tattoos. All right. So, grab some of this. Feels like a pretty good thing right there. Let's see how it looks on something I can more easily cover up. So let's go back down to the leg here. We have a lot more area down here than we do elsewhere. And we can kind of try to start with something a bit like a glyph. I need a little bit of... I was going to use water, but actually I'm going to use this stuff. This stuff's called Flow Aid. I usually use it to reconstitute paints, but I think a little bit of Flow Aid will work to kind of keep it moving and not dry out on the tip of my brush here. So we can kind of do from the bottom here and swoop down, if I can get this little dry bit off the tip of my brush. Okay, see if that works better. Flow down, there we kind of go. And kind of follow the curve of her calf here. They put a dot there. We can put a dot there and a dot there. And we can kind of follow the curve of the muscle here. So the tattoo actually looks like it's a bit tied into her anatomy. Kind of coming down here to the ankle, back of her heel. Yeah, there we go. Already, this is looking way better. Way, way better. There we go. Get a good consistency there. All right, and on this leg over here, we can kind of do a sort of a rounding over the knee. Vanishes up that way. Again, a sort of swirling to the thigh. This side, kind of roll up and come up and join. A little bit of flow extender, a little bit of white. And we can kind of do some slashes up. Slash, slash, slash. And few dots to kind of connect them. We have, that's looking pretty good. I like that. Let's come up to make sure our paint's flowing nicely. Let's come to the center here where we can kind of put that circle back on her chest here. Right like that. And we can kind of just have it radiate up from there, up to her throat, from which it can radiate to her limbs as well. Because that's the seat of her power, that's where it's all coming from. So it should be pretty obvious that that is where it's coming from. Got a little bit on her chin, let's wipe that off if it's not too late. There you go. And we've got, let's clean that brush off, start over fresh, make sure there's no dry bits on the bristles, doesn't look it, looks pretty good. Pick up some more white, a little bit of flow extender, make sure we've got nice solid point there. All right, so crescent moon on forehead, like so. We've got a line up her cheek from the throat, and sometimes the tip of this brush just goes dry. It's kind of annoying. There we go. Same from this side. I'll flip it around though. There we go. Beautiful. Much better, much better. And arms are all that's left. Let's do some arm stuff. So I think we're fine enough that we can actually do a little pattern on the back of her hand here. I would really like it if the paint would not dry off the end of my brush in like 2 seconds. That would be great. Can I just say how awesome that would be? Alright. Oh geez, I've done it again. I've done it again. I hope that's not too annoying to watch in the video as I unconsciously like fold Hanwi in half trying to go and paint these tattoos on her. Alright. And from here we can do kind of a curve around to the elbow and then folded back up there, kind of snake-like. And we can kind of have a dot and dot there. And then back to this side, we've got similar deal, kind of a snaking down to the elbow, up across the forearm, to the edge, and we're going to just kind of put some flourishes here, some hatches across the pattern, put a little dot back there, stick that out. Same deal over here, we can kind of put a hatch right there, and symbol on the back of her wrist. We're actually going to just pick out her knuckles and a little spread can kind of pop off right there, and put a dot back in the center of her chest. Alright, significantly better. Significantly better. I am amazed that Hanwi's ankles have not completely snapped. Oh, she's got some damage. She's got some damage right there. My own fault, though. I can repair that. We can fix her. Because I got this stuff. So, we'll take off the cap, we'll put on this special extendo snout, which is quite good for super precise applications. Okay, super glue on, character back down, hold it steady, let it dry, shouldn't take long. Brush I don't care about. Take off nozzle. It will never be used again. Cap off super glue so it does not go bad. And Hanwi has ankles again. Beautiful. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. I don't think I'm going to use this on the... I don't think I'm going to use this on all the tattoos. I think I'm just going to put a little bit on the center of her chest where all this is radiating out from and see how that comes out looking. Pretty good. Pretty good. Nice and subtle. And it helps kind of differentiate it a bit. All right. Maybe a little bit here and there just to kind of keep the theme going. We don't got to go crazy with it. Just enough that it kind of has this tint to it. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay. Happy with that. Not going to mess with it anymore and make it worse. All right. Oh, all right, so now on to the thing that we normally have trouble with, which are eyes. Alrighty, so still got white on the palette here. There we go. Let that dry. Which looks kind of intimidating now. And, oh my god, she's going to have white eyebrows. I think between the moon tattoo and the hair, I think I don't need to paint them. I think I can just leave them alone. I think it's going to cause more trouble than I'm going to... It's not going to be worth it. And Hanwi's eyes should probably be dark to kind of contrast with everything. So let's go with a... I could do black. I could do black. Yeah, let's try black. Dark as the night sky kind of thing. We'll go with that. I'm going to hold her by the torso so I don't put any more torque on her ankles. Here we go. There we go. Just kind of looking back up to the sky where she came from. Nice. Not bad. All right, so I don't think I have to worry about highlights too much. I think she's pretty good as it is, so we're going to just leave her as that. And let's just go ahead and hit the base. So she's got some leaves down here. We've also got kind of a snowy ground. Going to be a lot of snowy ground, so I'm going to be kind of hard-pressed to find some variation to go and experiment with. I think in Hanwi's case, we'll go ahead and paint those leaves. It would make sense that there would be seasons up here, so these leaves could very well have fallen in the fall. So I think I'm going to do some autumn colors. Clean this up a little bit. There we go. There we go. Okay. So we can do autumn colors on those leaves there without too much difficulty. And along those lines, I've got just the thing, because wouldn't you know, we've got contrast paints that can help with that. I've got these three, and there just happens to be 3 leaves. So let's go ahead and make this happen. I think this will be good, because this will give us a nice bit of bright color to kind of round up this otherwise fairly dour appearance here. So nice bright yellow leaf. This one's going to be a bit darker. Okay. Yeah, you thought I wasn't going to use any more contrast paints, but you were wrong. And lastly, I've got this one here. Oops. Get that drop of water off my brush. Kind of similar to that other one, just a little bit more brown there, but that's fine. Good enough to make it look different. And I think what we'll do is we can kind of do a sort of oh, I don't know, what would it be? Would it be, I mean, you'd have to have grass, right? Like, there has to be vegetation up there for, like, mammoths to exist, because mammoths eat those. So, like, mammoths are going to need some greenery to eat, so we can put some greenery on here. We can have greenery on the, you know, we can actually do a bit more, too, because I have some extra leaves over here. I do indeed. Got some stuff I can put. I can't fit a bush on there, I don't think, or can I? Might be able to fit a bush. Where could I put that bush? I could put that bush, maybe a smaller bush. Something like this. Give me a minute. I got some bush pieces that I think will fit and look pretty decent. if I were to take a bush, and then I were to put this bush right here. It's a little bit too big. It'd be pretty good if I could put it here and just chop these fronds off, I think. Or just instead of trying to make that work, just use these smaller bits of fallen leaves. I've even got a couple that are already painted. Because when you got contrast paint, you can just paint these really easy. Yeah, so something like that. I need to clean up that piece right at the end here. There we go. Imagine the other one probably needs it too. Let me see. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Come on. Come on. There we go. Nice. All right. So we can do like something like that. And we can even have this, one of these. Yeah, it looks a bit nicer. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, so starting with this one over here. Trusty, handy-dandy super glue. No precision nozzle on it this time, but that's all right. We should be okay. Loop. There we go. That should hold. And then for this back area here, you can actually flip this upside down, have it fit a bit better, put right there. So let's get the glue on right there. And this bit just gonna sit right in there. Nice. Pretty good. Give that a bit to dry. Cap this up. And there we go. I would say that we got Hanwi. Yeah, I don't even think I have to flock the rest of that base. That looks pretty good to me. All right. Well, it was a bit of a journey. we got to go and try some things out, see them horribly not work out, or paint over the entire thing, go fix it, have it look way better. It's just part of the journey when you're here painting a model. Sometimes you don't really know what's going to work out, and you just got to be jump in both feet, brave, see how it goes, because you know that ultimately you can pull yourself out of it and make something that looks pretty good, that you're pretty happy with. So pretty excited about that. Really like the way she came out. Particularly like the way the tattoos came out. Happy with that as well. So hope you all enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching. Got basically as far opposite as you can get coming up next. This mountain of a half-orc. So he'll be the next one we're painting up. So stay tuned.